You could hear the ropes going. You could smell the sweat. A whole new world.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Are you ready?
And it was brilliant. You know, I'd love to go back in time and just stand in the corner and watch it and see it and go, oh my God, look at that.
Birmingham City Boxing Club was established way back in the 18th century, and the first ABA champion actually came from Birmingham.
I was born in Kingston, Jamaica in 1947. I came here at 16 years of age, and then almost immediately I started looking for a gym because I had decided from I was in Jamaica that I was going to be a boxer, because I read this book about Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion of the world.
Went to London with the ideas of going pro, and unfortunately they discovered I had an eye problem, which sort of put me out of boxing. There was an old guy called Neil Holland at Ladywood Community Centre. He was training a couple of lads for the NAYCP championships, and he just came to me and said, look, you did a little bit of boxing, son. How would you like to give me a handout and give these two a move around? And that's how it all started.
In '66 then, I decided I want to do a bit of training there, and I got to know this club, Hobmore pub it was, and went and seen the trainer. Steve Hayden was his name, nice man. And I said to him and that, and he said, yeah, 3 nights a week, and that we were training. A couple of bags, that was all that time.
I never really had a coach, you know. I think in the early stages, we all pile into the gym and we all put our gloves on and we all pretend we're fighting.
The training now, I don't know, is different. You got things easier, you got running machines and this and that. You know what I mean? When you get up in the morning, you go on the road, don't matter, rain or, you know what I mean, or ice, or you got to go on the road and run. You think, well, I'll go in the gym and run the running machine. Different, you know what I mean?
Training sessions 3 times a day and 6 days a week, no rest.
Now that I'm working at Pat Penson Boxing Academy and I see the lads training, I just think, wow, we were so much fitter than them. But that probably just sounds like an old man, you know, reminiscing.
When I was training as an amateur, we used to train 6-7 days a week, and it was hard training. Here, I think this is it trained 3 days a week or something like that?
I recall Pat Benson coming all the way down from Nottingham after working all day, getting to the show at 9:30 and boxing at 10:30. You can get kids doing that today.
When I always went to Fazeley Street, there was a ring and 6 bags. You know, it was cold, dirty, unhygienic, you know what I mean? There was no gloves. People sparred without gum shields or head guards or anything like that. And now you come here and there's a staff, there's showers, warm showers, great heating, great bags, there's 2 or 3 rings, weights, bikes.
Started Birmingham City Boxing Club because 2 of our former members, the Lynch brothers, they wanted to give boxing something back. We found new premises, and the idea was to change the name of the club to Birmingham City, to put the city on the map. From then on in, we had a tremendous club.
I come from King's Heath. King's Heath was a hotbed of boxing. Even then, you had a lad called Hughie Ford, who was British featherweight champion, super featherweight champion. A lad called Costas Petru. Costas Petru was the British welterweight champion. We had the McCracken brothers all around the corner from me, and we were all pals. And you know, we all come through Birmingham City.
I was so lucky when I came to England. I mean, I found Frank Sullivan's gym, the old Ladywood gym, and Frank was a big influence on my boxing career and coach and everything, like, because Frank was a top man.
The first time I got there, old Percy, he was like Mickey, old sea dog, you know, chewing gum. I've walked in the gym, he went, young Melvin, can you fight? And obviously I was like 12, 13, and I says, I thought I was a bit of a lad. I said, yeah, I can have it. And he said, we'll see what you got. And in this day and age, like, it would never happen because of health and safety and whatever, but literally there's a big bowl there, there's all these gum shields bobbing there, he kept picking them out, trying to put them in my mouth till one fit. There, he threw me in the rope, and obviously I'm just used to throwing the single jabs, that's all I was taught, and he's coming in right hands, hooks, and I got absolutely battered for about 3 rounds, and he said, young Melvin, he says, if you come back tomorrow, he says, I know you'll be a fighter.
From the point of view of champions, there isn't another club in the Midlands who holds the same record as we have. One of our former boxers, Robert McCracken, who is now Director of Coaching for England Boxing, became the first senior boxer to win a medal at World Championships. Costas Petrou, he became the first Greek British champion. Tina O'Dell became the first female ABA champion.
It was hard to find a club. There's still people that still think that females shouldn't be boxing. Frank said to me when I first walked through the door, I will not teach you until I think that you've been here long enough, and then I'll start teaching just like other boxers. I said, okay, that's fine. I just kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. I'd say it was about 6 months, then he started to teach me. Then they decided, we'll start putting into contests, and I started winning the contests.
There's the 3 Yafai brothers who have all won silver medals in the European Championships. When Khaled Yafai won the world title, I shed a tear at that. As I say, it was first for club, first for country.
I started talking with everyone, I want to be a boxer because I want to be the first black heavyweight champion of Britain. And this guy, he said, if you do, I'll eat my hat. 1975, I won the heavyweight title against Danny Michael-Linden, the first black boxer to win the heavyweight championship. I still enjoy thinking about it.
When I was about 15, I really moved on. I got to the semi-finals of England NABCs, and then I had a couple more senior fights. And then I turned pro when I was 18, and then I teamed up with Pat Cowdell, who was an absolutely great fighter from Worley.
I fought 2 European Games, I fought the Commonwealth Games, I fought the Olympic Games. The first European Games I was at, I never did much good, I was only a young kid. The second one I won a bronze. The Commonwealth Games in New Zealand in '74, I won a gold medal. The Olympics in '76, I won a bronze medal. And then in '77, I turned professional.
Ended up fighting for 2 British and Commonwealth British titles. Got beat on points over 12 rounds in both of them. I won the Irish title against a lad called Sean Cogan. And I won the Midland title, defended that about 5 or 6 times. I was in the top 10 of Britain for 12 years. But I thought I was a gangster as well. And obviously, if you try and live that life as well, then pay the price, which I did.
Pat Benson boxed for me for 10 years.
I came home one night. Who was waiting for me? Only Frank. Hurry up, Pat. After laying about 200 odd kids the bloody day, after Wally, to box the ABA champion, young Taylor. He used to work in a bookie shop. Is any wonder I had him down, but I couldn't keep him down.
He became a coach towards the late 70s. Him and John Kelly reformed Small Heath.
No, Small Heath went Wallop altogether. Yeah. The coach died, and it was more or less like most boxing clubs in Birmingham, a one-man band like, and he died, the club died with him. Johnny Kelly came and said we got the offer to restart Small Heath, and he said he'd do it if I'd do the coaching, so that's where it came from.
You had me and my brother, you had the Harkins, you had the Sperrings, you had Coogans, Sean Coogan, Gary Coogan, and you had Gary's dad, Mickey Coogan, who did the rings.
Unibox was established by my dad 39 years ago, and he grew the business from there. And then when he died in 1996, I took over the company. We went from 6 rings back then, and we're up to 65 rings now, which has made us the largest boxing ring company in the whole of Europe, if not the world.
I fought World Championships 86, 87, and Seoul Olympics 88. That's when I fought Charlie Kane in the ABAs, but I've boxed him previously, England vs Scotland, and I beat him in England vs Scotland, and he beat me in the ABA final, so there was a big disagreement, and they said that because you both beat each other, we will send you to the Canada Cup. Whoever gets the furthest will go to the Olympics, and I caught chicken pots.
You look back on some of my lads, like 3 of them there now, I suppose, had the best feet in Great Britain. The 2 Ramses and Williams. Yeah. They were absolutely lovely dancers.
That journey there was, we're both going to get to the finals and win the ABAs together as brothers. We went to Norwich to fight. I got beat. He started crying going into the ring, into the middle, shake hands. He's still got tears coming down his eyes. The bell went. He didn't even put his hands up. I think he hit him twice. He went down, the guy did. He got up and hit him a couple more times. The referee stopped the fight, and he was still crying then.
Went to Halle, Germany and qualified for Barcelona 1992 Olympics. Got to the quarterfinals and I came 4th. Missed out on a medal. That was a big achievement for myself, especially for the club. I think I was one of the first boxers for small leaf to qualify for the Olympics.
Yeah, we boxed for England.
Yeah, 2 brothers.
Yeah, won the ABAs.
I think that's history, that is.
Yeah, both fought, yeah. I'm in his book too. I don't.
You're both in the book.
Yeah.
What I wanted to do is go to the best clubs, so I ended up going to them clubs. That's why I went to Small Leaf when I seen Ryan Williams there and Ramsey and some of the other boys there, you know, and I knew that was where the class was, and I wanted to be around that. I wanted to see how these guys trained. I wanted to see them, you know, I wanted to see them spar. I wanted to spar them.
I was 10 years old when I went to the Small Leaf Boxing Club. I was 11 when I had my first fight. My first fight was Paddy's Day, 1994. Won the senior ABAs in 2001. I was 18. And then I turned pro later that year.
I got picked for the Olympics, 92. Got all the paperwork and everything, and then I got a letter in the post saying you're not going. Broke my heart.
Billy Smith from Heartlands Amateur Boxing Club. I used to live next door to his children, and I was scrapping on the grass outside, and he pulled up one day. I was just messing around in the gloves, and he said, do I want to come to the gym? I went to the gym on a Wednesday. On the Friday, got my medical. The next Friday, I boxed in the Irish Centre. At 14 years of age, I moved to Small Leaf Boxing Club with Pat Benson, Billy Meddings and Tom Cheney.
I've started boxing at Small Leaf, and I remember sparring, and I'm trying to duck and weave, and he's going, what are you doing, you know? He's like, the guy, you've got your jab. Where's your jab? And literally tied my right hand up and just like, right, you're going to learn how to use the jab. Done this practice. And then we had our first fight over in Kidderminster. Went out for the first round. Literally, I'm going in there, went to box away, and he's like, use your jab, Wayne. I'm going, all right, no problem. Boom, boom. I'm getting hammered first round, down. Back in the next round, boom, 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 back. He said, all right, I'll tell you what. He said, it ain't working. He said, we'll get back on it in Monday. He said, just do what you're doing before, and I knocked the kid out in the next round.
In coaching, I've had 3 lads fought for world titles. 3 of my lads, Matty Macklin, young Ramsey, he fought for one of them titles in Russia. Wayne Elcock was, and he actually won a world title. So Frankie Gavin, he won a world title as an amateur.
I won 17 at my first 19, then had a half an hour record for a year, and then I picked it up again, then got schoolboy semis the next year. Then the last year, I won the NABCs at Small Leaf. That was like my first ever title. Went straight on to win the schoolboy titles. I think I'm still the only boxer to win it from Small Leaf. But if not, I was definitely the first one to win it. And then I went on to win the Junior Olympics that year as well. I've really kicked off then. Never lost in Britain again then to a British fighter as an amateur. I won everything there was to win then, ABAs a few times. I won Commonwealth Games, Commonwealth Championships, European Union. Then I was still the only, and I was the first to ever win a World Amateur title.
Yeah, the Battle of Brum. Just right at the end of my career, really, to be fair, mate. I was 36 years of age.
You know, some people were picking Alcock, some people were picking me, and I was thinking, if I'm going to go on and do what I feel I'm good enough to do, I have to come through this one.
It was a bad day in the office for myself, but, you know, that's how the game goes. Sometimes, you know, Matt was up for it, and he done what he needed to do. Thankfully, he went on to do really well then, at obviously world level and stuff after, so he didn't really knock me too much to finish on that.
I had 3 area champions 1 year, the 2 Ramsays and young Williams. That was quite a one. Yeah. But the one that I enjoyed the best of the whole lot, probably my best one was Sean Coogan. I brought him over to Ireland for the Irish Championships.
I won the Irish Championship, picking the trophy up that my trainer had his name on 33 years before me.
I really chuffed with that one.
It was great, because when you're a kid like I was, like when I was about 11 or 12, I hadn't been out of the back garden. But by the time I was 15 or 16, I was travelling around the world.
It was fantastic. Absolutely, it was like your family from home. And any problems, there was always at the end of the phone for you.
We used to go to all of the shows together. There'd be like, 6 of us in a car or 10 of us in the back of a van or something. Kind of growing up with the same people as well and supporting them.
That's one of the things I mostly missed when I turned professional. I wasn't around my friends as much. I remember going to Ireland with a few of the lads, went with Small Leaf, Ironworks, Heartlands, Birmingham City, about 6 different gyms, and we all got on really well over there.
But in Pat's day, if you couldn't pay your subs, he didn't say you can't come in the gym, he'd say come and train.
I wasn't really interested in getting into the amateur boxing again at the start, to be fair. I did want to get involved in the grassroots stuff because I love the sport. I'll tell you what happened, I started Box Clever Up because when I retired in 2009, before this massive influx of talent that we've got now, there wasn't really anything about it. I remember sitting there thinking, God, I was the first British champion in about 10 years or whatever since Rob McCracken. That's poor. For a city like Birmingham, who's like renowned, steeped in history, great fighters in the past, why have we not? We had this barren where we weren't doing anything. We had no one really coming from the area.
I think I'd done enough. I think then it was my time then to teach, and I think I get more out of that now. We've got 34 carded boxers, all different champions at different box cups, England. We have 8 females at the minute. One that's boxing for England, GB, and some good school girls coming through.
Boxing's been my life, so I wanted to stay in boxing. I had about, I think, 23 fighters. I had a couple of kids box for the world title. I had a few kids box for the Irish title. I had Darren boxing for the Midland titles and stuff, which,
How could I not go back into it with having the experience that I had in the amateurs at the best level at the amateurs and obviously then as a pro, and that's where I want to go eventually with the amateur boxers now, bringing them through. Hopefully in another couple of years you're going to see me on the pro scene because I'll have a couple of these kids ready to go pro and I'll take them onto the pro scene and I'll mentor them and make sure, like my trainer did for me, Paddy Lynch, who never took a penny off me, is the reason why I can do what I do today, if you like.
My career's done. It was done when I finished boxing. My club's not about me, it's about them new boxers coming in.
I had my first kid who got an England call up there the other week, so that was a massive buzz for me.
You understand that, coaches become social workers, support workers, etc. I understand that, but I didn't realise to what extent until I actually took over the running of the gym.
I've got one lad's unbeaten, Kelsey Ball his name is, he's fighting for the Midland area title in 8 weeks. I've got Sean Davis with me now as well, he recently boxed for the British title, and I've got some other new lads who started.
Got a young lad called Jay Turner so far, and he's had 15 for me, just won the East Midlands Box Cup, beat the reigning champion from last year, we beat a lad who's boxed for England a few times. So personally, he's my best achievement really, because I train him from the minute he joined the gym, so everything I put into him is starting to pay dividends for us. I know when you see a kid smile, and you know that's down to you, what you've learnt him, you've got him that win. Things like that pay me back really.
It's my firm belief, London was, London is, but one day Birmingham will be.